class! Okay, so today I'm going to read a poem for you that I wrote for one of my classes. I'm in this class called Rebuilding Christchurch, which is all about dealing with the aftermath of the 2011 earthquake that happened in Christchurch. And so we work a lot with service learning and the rebuilding of the city and all the new things that are coming about because of that. And it's a fascinating class. I really love it. So we had this assignment called, the prompt was caring and sharing. Caring and helping, which sounds like a kindergarten prompt. But it was really fun. It was a great project. And basically asked us to reflect on our time here and then, through the class and through our experiences here, how our definitions of caring and service learning and that kind of stuff have changed. And my professor is super cool and lets us do like whatever we want to for assignments. So I decided to write a slam poem. And so I'm going to perform that for you today, which I have never done before, so we'll see how that goes. And I have like 3 qualifiers. Number 1, I wrote it for class, so it is a little bit tailored to the prompt for class, so it might be a little cheesy, but bear with me. And number 2, what was number 2? Number 2, I'm reading it off my computer, so if it's gonna, the eye contact's gonna be real weird, but whatever. And also number 3, I don't by any means consider this to be done. I think that it's on its way, but it obviously still needs a lot of work. And I think like all art, we're always changing and updating and making things better. So this isn't a finished product. But enough for the qualifiers, and I'm gonna read it to you. And I'm making myself do this because I think it's good for me. But we'll see. Okay, this is called The City That Rocks. Okay. Also, I have crazy hand gestures, like you all know, so if they get in the way, I apologize. Okay. 3 months ago, I arrive. Fresh and wide-eyed, a girl who has never been drunk, never traveled by herself, never truly sunk into a culture other than her own. On the first night, I sit in an unfamiliar apartment playing games with a drink in my hand, trying to find my balance in this new land. And then the room starts to shake. And while I am panicked and frantic, I notice that for the people around me, this scene is ordinary. Because this is a city that is used to shakes, used to jolts, used to trembles, used to feeling unsettled. This is a city that is used to disappointment, to redirected life plans, to lost neighborhoods, to lost businesses, to lost people. When the temporary quaking subsides, the girl next to me, Akili, a born and raised resident of the Canterbury area, a girl who has stayed here through the shake-based hysteria, she says to me, "Why did you choose to come here of all places? The city is dead, there's nothing to do." Instinctively, I think, well, that's great. Because after flying halfway across the world to reach what I've been hoping is heaven, it's unsettling that I neglected to think about February 22nd, 2011. I'm naively disappointed to find out that this city isn't perfect, that after almost 2 years, you can still see the effect of the way the ground betrayed this place. And as embarrassing as this is to admit, I don't want to be told I'm living in a place that is trying to break even with the earth, a place that is still trying to prove its worth. And because at this point, I haven't yet learned how to care for this city that is open and raw, I begin to question my placement, begin to wonder if I will be able to enjoy my time in this place that is vacant. I wonder if I wouldn't have been better off in Auckland or Wellington or Dunedin, cities that haven't been weakened. 2 months later, and now I'm standing in the dirt, with a hammer in my hand, uncertain of how I'm supposed to serve. I found myself in the midst of a service project, wearing an orange vest and feeling as though somehow I haven't passed this test of how to care for Christchurch. Because now, as much as I want to help, I'm not sure this city needs me. Emily. An average height, average weight, middle class, white girl from the States who doesn't know how you're supposed to relieve disaster. I'm afraid my help will be met with, what do you know about what happened here? And you weren't here on the day, and your house didn't crumble, and your friends didn't take off, and your life doesn't look a lot like mine. And to that, I have nothing. Because I don't like to impose. I don't like to disrupt. I like to do what I'm told. I'm not under any delusion that my community service is doing anything more than skimming the surface of the work that needs to be done. And I'm not sure that I have the skills to rebuild or the resources needed or the energy to fulfill, and it's exhausting just to think about. But it isn't long before I recognize that I'm not the only one who gets tired at this thought. I feel the fatigue in the souls of the people here and know that they are tired. Of things being broken, of stores being closed, of businesses being unavailable. They are tired of the frequent aftershocks that rattle their core like a vet's flashbacks to the war. They are tired. And when that tiredness seeps into your bones, it can make a person resentful. I find myself meeting people who don't want the city as their own, people who have grown up here and yet they find themselves pretending they always intended to live here alone because the home they know isn't a red zone. This city isn't an easy place to be. It's got residual silt and debris. It's got a central business district that is encased in an impenetrable fence, and the sense of hopelessness here doesn't lie far beneath the surface. It's got businesses that have closed down with no sign of opening back up, 10,000 houses whose doors have permanently been shut, and it's missing 182 people who will never see what happens here next. Right now the city feels like it's far from its best. The city isn't an easy place to be. But if you listen closely, you can hear a rhythm. Deep underneath the soil, next to the tectonic plates that made this earth quake, there is a beat. And though it is faint, the pulse is steady. Slowly growing in pace and sound, like it's making peace with the ground, saying, I know you didn't mean it. You know, we all shake sometimes. We're all lined with faults that make it difficult to stay still, make it hard to be strong. But this city is strong. You know, when I was a girl, my mom used to tell me that at age 4, I was the most persistent being she'd ever met. Well, my mom needs to meet Christchurch, because this city's got a spirit that will not quit, will not accept no for an answer. No isn't a word that works here. This is a place where things happen, where within days of the earthquake, people were on their feet, ready to meet this challenge with money they hadn't saved, with shovels they didn't have, with plans that hadn't been made. Nah, this city's got a heartbeat, and I can lie my cheek up against the chest of this city no matter where I am and feel that beat pound in the Restart Mall, pound in the new city blueprints, pound in the empty lots whose gaps have been filled with books that change lives and mats that yell, dance, and it pulses in the university arts department, where posters fight budget cuts with big, bold print that begs, it's not just the arts program, it's the university. And this beat throbs in the bodies of the thousands of students who decided not to party, but instead formed an army to clean up silt and volunteer their time and put themselves on the line. This heartbeat drums at the TEDx conference in 2012, where Ian Taylor stands on the stage and says, if this city is to grow, we must give our trust to others. And suddenly, I understand. That my purpose here might not be to be the next Sam Johnson, the next Tom Hooper, the next Coralie Wynn. All I can be is Emily McDowell. Average height, average weight, middle-class white girl from the States who doesn't know a thing about earthquakes. But I do know pain. Do know the way loss makes you want to lie on the floor just to feel something solid. I know how soreness works its way into your core and makes you hurt in ways you didn't know you could before. I know how sometimes crying doesn't help, just makes you hurt more. Then I know how a back rub is often better than money, better than casseroles and flowers and, oh honey, I'm so sorry. I know how it feels just to want life to go back to normal, before everything was prefixed and suffixed with the words damaged and closed and before. But I also know that you gotta try to love the things that have hurt you. Gotta flirt with change, gotta be okay with the pain, gotta know how to say, I need help. So instead of saying, this city is dead, I think we have to look ahead. Look to what we want Christchurch to be in 10, 20 years. I don't want this city to be free of its history. Because this city didn't fall from grace. It's merely trying to find its place in this world. And this world could learn a lot from here. Learn how to make something from nothing. Like malls out of storage containers and families out of acquaintances and love out of hurt. This city isn't dead. So I'm going to try to love Christchurch. Going to hold its hand when it needs it. Going to encourage people to come here. Going to invest in it with my time and hope, and I'm going to defend it to a T. Going to stop giving it my pity and start giving it my energy. Going to stop looking at it like a place that needs my help, but rather a place that can help me. Because I'm starting to find a home in this place whose initials are NZ. Or NZ. Because that's how they pronounce it here, and I'll go along with it if that's how it's said. 3 months after the moment I arrived, and I'm glad. Glad that I ended up here. Glad that I am near something new and vibrant, a place that is a lot like me, uncertain and anxious but ready to grow, ready to learn what I don't know and challenge what I thought I knew. So Christchurch, thank you. Because I know I'm supposed to be serving you, but I'm pretty sure you're serving me, or maybe we're just serving each other, and maybe that's the way it's supposed to be.